Welcome to NASCAR America Overtime. I'm AJ Allmendinger. Next to Jason Weigandt. We're talking the Lucas Oil Pro Motorcross Championship. Where should we begin? The 450 and 250 class has been kind of the same deal.
Well, it's like this matchup situation that we're getting where they're turning into one-on-one championship battles in both classes, and that makes it fun to watch, especially when we get different personalities involved. When you see Eli Tomac and Ken Roczen dueling, it's not just about points or wins or stats or numbers. It's really their different approaches. So with Ken Roczen, he has that speed that's hard to see. It's very calculated. It's very smooth. He's probably faster than it looks. And Tomac is that exact opposite. He's hitting every corner and bump and jump harder than anyone else. It's obvious where his speed comes from, and amazingly, it seems to work out about the same, even though it's two completely different approaches.
So in the 450 class, Tomac has won 4 motos.
Yeah.
Ken Roczen has won 2. The problem is the 2 motos that Ken Roczen have been poor to his standards, a 4th and a 5th, and that's how Ken Roczen has won 2 out of the first 3 races,
right.
Has a 2-point lead in the championship. Going into round 4 at High Point, where do you see this championship going?
Well, first of all, we're into that. I love the super optimistic part of the season. When we move east, so the first 2 races were in California and Colorado, then every rider says, just wait till I go east. I'm going to get better. So all 40 riders on the gate somehow will miraculously all be better in the same race at the same time. I don't know mathematically if that can be done, but most of them have East Coast-based training facilities. So they say when they get to softer and humidity that they're more used to training in, they'll do better in the races. So everyone believes this will be the race where they break through. Maybe not even just Roczen Tomac, maybe some other riders, Cooper Webb, Marvin Musquin. But the bottom line is Tomac is the only rider that can truly beat Tomac. That's usually what it comes down to. Yeah. If he's on his game, he wins. But as you mentioned, in 2 motos already this year, he's been oddly subpar, 4th and 5th place. And in the next moto, he's blown everyone away. That inconsistency is what the other riders can bank on. No matter how big a lead he has at the end of the day, you always hope the next day is the one where he's off again, and riders like Roczen take advantage.
It has been a 2-man championship, but the battle for 3rd kind of through 6 has really been intense. You got Zach Osborne,
yeah.
Jason Anderson, Marvin Musquin, and Cooper Webb. Out of those 4, who do you see going up there and being able to kind of disrupt the first 2?
I'd actually pick Zach Osborne. He is a rookie in the class, but he had such a crazy route to get to this point in his career. He was an amateur hotshot. It didn't pan out at all when he turned pro, and he was exiled to Europe just to try to make a living for a little while. Finally found his footing, came back to the U.S., had success in the 250 class. But the problem is it's taken so long. He's a 29-year-old rookie. So he said, I don't have time to learn. I need to win races and titles immediately because my clock is ticking. And he's been very good in these first few motos. And because he's new to the class, I think his upside, his potential to improve, is larger than everyone else. On the other end, I feel like it's a very pivotal round for Marvin Musquin, who's usually great at this track. If he has a bad one, that's a bad omen for the rest of the season. But he was very similar last year, kind of quiet, went to High Point, almost beat Tomac. So his potential to do it this weekend is there, but he's kind of on a thin line right now where it could start going the wrong direction.
In the 250 class, it's been the same story. Adam Cianciarulo, which came off that devastating loss in Vegas in the Supercross season, and Justin Cooper, to the point where Justin Cooper's won every first moto, and Adam Cianciarulo's won every second moto. Same deal as Eli Tomac, though. When Justin Cooper struggles, it's been 4th place finishes. So where do you see going into round 4 with those 2? And kind of there's another 3 or 4 riders behind them that can kind of jump up. So do you see them dominating both throughout the rest of the year, or are there different riders that can come jump up and make this a 3 or 4 rider championship?
I think we're already seeing the seeds of this becoming a 2-rider battle because now they've got a little heat with each other. In our last race, Cianciarulo was trying to chase Cooper down. He went off the track. He did what the rule book said, which is enter in the next safest place. And he even got on the brakes to give Cooper a little bit of an edge to show he wasn't taking advantage. But Cooper took a quick look over his shoulder and didn't see any of that. He just sees Cianciarulo riding over banners, cutting the course in his mind. So now he's angry. So I think we are getting to the point where these 2 are starting to gun at each other and not even think about the others. The real difference is because Cianciarulo came through the ranks as like an amateur hotshot and a prodigy, I feel like he's been through all the ups and downs, the media attention and all the things that come with being a favorite. It's new to Justin Cooper. He was not on anyone's radar 2 years ago. I always equate it to this. He's like a short track racer that got a shot at the big time, as opposed to Cianciarulo, who would have been dominating ARCA and K&N and trucks and Xfinity all the way up. He's been through all that. So I wonder when the pressure starts to go, I know that Cianciarulo's been through it. No one knows how Cooper's going to react. So will last week's controversy hurt Justin Cooper? Is it part of the learning process, or is it something that's going to throw him off? That's the real question to me.
Can a guy like Dylan Ferrandis, which beat Adam Cianciarulo at the last race in Vegas to win that Supercross championship, a European background, can he make up the difference? Because that's really shocked me, is that he struggled more than I expected. A lot of runs from 3rd to about 7th place. So can he step up and go out there and win some of these races, because he has to make up a big points gap already?
The big issue he's had is his starts have not been great, and then his first lap has been even worse. And in the 250 class, where you're dealing with a lot of teenagers, the first lap aggression, not a problem for most riders. So if you're even the slightest bit off, not feeling comfortable, not aggressive in those first couple of moments, it's really going to show, and that's hurt Ferrandis big time. There's enough time for him to make those points back. And another thing, they're going to say the high point track is European in its flavor. So it's good for the East Coast guys and the Europeans all at the same time, amazingly.
So it's great for everybody.
Yes, that's what we're getting at.
Yeah.
So Ferrandis has reason to think, I will fix it this weekend and I will start making up points. But until he shows that opening lap speed that Cianciarulo and Cooper have, there's no reason to believe it's going to happen. He's going to have to prove it on the racetrack.
Well, we're fortunate enough to cover American Flat Track. The season so far has been incredible. In the Twins division, it's the veteran that's the 2-time champion, Jared Mees, versus his new teammate, Briar Bauman. They're battling for the points lead right now. They've really stepped out to make it a 2-rider battle.
Right.
I kind of think Briar Bauman's going to kind of keep putting that pressure on Jared Mees, but do you see Jared, after winning the last event, stepping up and stringing off like he used to in the last 2 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 wins in a row?
This is like the movie script that we've seen over and over, where the mentor takes in the protege. Mees has dominated this championship in 2017 and 2018. He brought Bauman in under his wing to train with him. Bauman learned a lot, clearly, from that. And now they're having to turn from friends to adversaries. I think that win for Mees in a good one-on-one duel with Bauman in our last race, the Red Mile, was big, with Mees understanding this is the way I have to approach this guy now. He's no longer studying for me. Forget teammates, forget friendship. I have to beat him. That was a big sign to me that Mees is now squared up with that and understands how to do it. But you guys have had Briar Bauman on this show. He's almost too nice of a guy to get angry at him, but Mees is going to have to do that. I think their relationship is really going to tell the story of how this championship plays out.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We get to call it. They're racing Saturday night. Pro Motocross on NBC and NBCSN. You and Grant Langston. Let's do this.
Yeah,
I'll be watching. I'll be sitting at home watching while you're working.
I'm not surprised. I am almost impressed and depressed that all this knowledge I've spent a lifetime to gain, you somehow in your spare time were able to garner that as well. So why am I even here?
I have a lot of free time.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.